gentlemen. baby. We are live. And again, you come watch the stream thinking, oh my god, this is just all pre-recorded. That's what you think. I know, it's okay. It's okay. But it is not pre-recorded. You know why? Oh, baby. Ladies, gentlemen, we are about to begin. Baby. Buckle up! Get ready. Because we're about to start soon. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get a weekly dose of athletic electric guitar? Dose of electric guitar talk. Join me as we go crazy. Ladies, gentlemen, Zuhair, what's happening? Woo! Let's go! That's what I'm talking about. Weekend, baby! Woo! We are live! That's right. Yoo-hoo! I love it. Oh, my Lord. How is everybody doing? Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday from wherever you're joining the stream. I hope everybody's doing well. My Lord, I gotta tell you guys something. I am so in the mood today. I am in the mood for so much guitar talk. I have a feeling. Playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. As I was saying, I have a feeling that this stream is gonna go so good. And this weekend is gonna be so damn good. I gotta tell you. You know why? Because we have one hell of a docket for this stream today. One hell of a docket, okay? First, we are going to talk about a new Yamaha Pacifica model that came out. We sort of had a discussion briefly about Yamaha Pacifica last week. Pacifica, okay? We talked about it last week a little. Then I forgot the name of it. But there's a new model out. It's a professional model. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Evanescence's Amy Lee doing something new with Poppy and Courtney LaPlante of Spirit Box. Then we're going to talk about Ola, his new solar guitar. It's a headless one. It's out, and there are a few interesting things about it that I want to talk about. Then we're going to talk about a new Ibanez nylon guitar model. And then we're going to finish the show talking about a new Sterling guitar that came out that I found it extremely interesting, and I have a very close experience with a similar guitar to that guitar. So we're gonna talk about all of those today. It's gonna be one heck of a stream, guys. I gotta tell you, it's so many things to talk about that I found really mind-blowing. Okay, so if you guys are all ready, let me play a vibe song, and then we'll get to start the stream. Discussions. How does this sound? Zuhair is online. How are you doing, baby? What's happening? What's new? What is new? You said they have guitar centers in Australia? No, but they have crocodiles. So they might not have guitar centers in Australia, but there are a lot of crocodiles here. And so you gotta do, you know, there's always a catch. There's always a price to pay. You come down here, it's a remote island away from everything else. And so there's not many guitar shops around, less so. There's a lot, to be honest with you, but less so. And so no. Here's the thing, right? Whenever the manufacturers, when it comes to guitars and everything else, what they do is that they give it to distributors and they time the releases in such a way that across the world, everything is released at the same time, right? So when there was like a new PRS model out, when there was like a new ESP LTD model out, right? Melbourne Guitar Show, for example, is very close date-wise to the NOM. And so the releases happen almost at the same time, within the same like 3-week window. So that's the thing. But they got a lot of crocodiles and kangaroos. And if you've never pet a kangaroo before, by the way, I highly recommend it. They are insane animals. They're so hilarious. Zuhair says, I started writing guitar exercises in Guitar Pro, so that makes my exercises organized. Otherwise, just trying to play more. That's what's new. That's such a good thing to do, dude. I used to do it too. Literally puts whatever you have in your mind on paper and gives that structure. So that's a superb idea. That's such a good idea. And one more thing you can do with it is that, like, if you get tired of listening to the metronome every day, you can actually write some basic drum parts on it and some bass parts on it. And you get to practice with a bass and a drum sound in the background. Takes a little bit more time, but that made the practice sessions a little bit more like more fun and more like diverse for me. So if that's what you're into, if you got a Guitar Pro and you can do those kind of stuff, yeah, you can play around with it. Like, I used to put basic drum and bass parts, sometimes synth, and just vibe as I was doing my stuff. So there you go. Great idea, dude. Great idea. Okay, shall we jump to our next item on the docket? And this was this Yamaha Pacifica Pack P12 that I wanted to share with you guys. So let's get to it. Let us get to it. And let me just reduce this. This seems like be a little loud. Okay, that's better. Here we go. So, Yamaha Pacifica professional model. So, usually when you say Pacifica, people think like very entry-level models, right? But Yamaha Pacificas are basically the Strats of Yamaha, and there are professional models out there. This one is the one that caught my eyes for a couple of reasons that I want to talk to you guys about. But the Pack P12 is one of new Yamaha's Pacifica models that is the professional one, right? And they've done some updates in their pickup design. They're doing some processes, some things on the guitar that I thought was really interesting. But let's talk about it. This guitar, made in Japan, it's humbucker single coil with a 5-way selector. Reflectone pickups created in collab with Rupert Neve Designs. Choice of 4 new finishes, controls for volume and tone. There was a push and pull coil split on it. They initially didn't have that. So this is like a later development in the Pacifica models. Alder body using acoustic design technology. I'll talk about that. Slim C-shaped maple neck, custom tint and satin finish. Very Fender-like. Rosewood compound radius, 10 to 14 inches. Medium stainless steels, so not jumbos. Gora locking tuners, and a 2-point tremolo bridge, and a hard shell case. Now, check this out. Check this out. So this one is like a slightly different color, right? With just like a different neck. But watch this. So this is the routing that Yamaha used, supposedly, with their 3D designs and everything else, to maximize better acoustics in the body of the guitar. Right. So basically what they're saying is that this design technology used 3D modeling and resonance imaging to devise wood routing techniques that increase body resonance and improve the transfer of vibration between neck and the body. Right. So the focus is very, very at this bit of the wood, close to the neck body joint. And this was an interesting thing for me, not just because of the fact that, you know, they're doing 3D designs and things of that nature, is the fact that also that in their marketing material, they're talking about science, whereas you oftentimes don't see it. And it can work and it cannot, because, you know, purchasing is like an emotional thing, okay? And too much science is going to kill marketing, right? So there's this sort of balance that you got to have. But that's an interesting thing that they're doing. And frankly, Yamaha is a ginormous company. They have all the technology in the world to do it. And they're not like Fender and Gibson, which they have to keep like an old school stuff alive, right? So that was really interesting to me, right? That it might not be of massive, like the biggest of all impacts, right? But at least the attempt is there. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. Okay? So that was the first interesting thing. And then the second interesting thing, which was a lot more interesting, is this. Check this out. Has anybody seen anything like this? Initial response acceleration. Have you guys heard of it? IRA, initial response acceleration. So basically what this is a method of like treatment of guitar after it's built. So once all is done, right, they do something to it, and I'll tell you what it is in a second, to sort of like make the guitar more resonant, increase sustain and volume of the guitar, basically, right? And they basically put in these images here, which supposedly is from their sort of like a guitar response kind of like diagram. So you got like your frequencies and you got the loudness, right? Here's the thing. What they do with these guitars is that after a guitar is built, they put it in this machine that very, very gently little, but with high frequency, vibrates. Right. And this process is supposed to mimic somebody playing the guitar, because when you strum a string, the string oscillates and vibrates, and it transfers that vibration to the body and the neck of the guitar, right? So what they do, they try to mimic that same vibration, that same oscillation, the effect of it on the guitar and the neck. Essentially, they're aging the guitar artificially. They're aging the wood of the guitar artificially. Now, this artificial aging, what this does is that it takes the stress of building the guitar, the process of building that guitar, away from the wood grains. Because what happens is, so obviously, any piece of wood is made out of wood grains and pores, like holes, right? As you go on and you sand and you saw and you chop and you color and you screw and all the stuff that you do to the wood, right, results in a lack of orderly orientation in the wood grains of the wood. As the wood ages in the guitar, those alignments clean up. Those alignments become better aligned when it comes to the wood grains of the guitar. So what happens is that despite the fact that the wood gets harder as it ages, because so if you normally have a guitar and it ages, one of the reasons that aged guitars sound different, like when somebody, like a 50-year-old guitar sounds different than when it was made, One other reason other than the grain alignment is the fact that a lot of moisture has gone away from the wood. So 6% moisture that a piece of wood has when it comes out of the factory gets less and less if the guitar is well taken care of and you keep playing it. But what these guys are doing with those little vibrations is that it helps aligning these wood grains right away. So your wood is not getting harder or softer, but the wood grains are now better aligned. So you get a better resonance out of that guitar, which is such an interesting thing. Now, obviously it has its limitations, so it doesn't change the humidity factor, So as the guitar ages naturally, the humidity factor reduces, the wood gets a little harder, and things of that nature, whereas you don't have that here. But the idea that they come in and make sure, go to that level of detail so that the guitar that comes out is at its best is insane to me. I really love that idea. Right? You put a guitar in a machine, design a machine, put it in there, that it merely vibrates it for some time. As if a string is getting, played on that guitar, so that the wood grains align better, so it comes out with better volume and sustain. It's insane. I really, really like this idea. And in fact, I think everybody should do it. Right? I really think that. This level of details, not everybody goes through, And I want more companies do this, to be honest with you. The impact is probably not too much, but there are companies that are really meticulous about PRS, for example, Kiesel, for example. They're very Aristides, for example. They're very meticulous with the quality of their instruments, and I'm I want to see something like this. I want to see something like this from them. I'm just saying. So, yeah. And this is the response. So this is basically that initial response acceleration. Once everything is done with the guitar, you micro vibrate it for a long time, and then that aligns everything and makes your guitar more resonant. You age the guitar while it's new, and this is not one of those artificial agings when you relic a guitar. This is literally, you get the idea. Dorotio, how you doing? What's happening? Happy Saturday. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, that's a very, these two things together, with the 3D modeling, and then you obviously got, the initial response acceleration. I thought that's a really interesting thing. So I'm keen actually to go and try out one of these Pacifica models and genuinely check to see, acoustically speaking, how good their sustains are. Item on the docket, baby. That's the one. Yeah, that's the first item on the docket. I was just talking about initial response acceleration. So there's this new Pacifica model that is out from Yamaha, right? And there's two things that they've done that I found really interesting. So they sort of doing some routing on the guitar that is inspired by 3D modeling that is supposed to increase the resonance of the guitar. And then the second thing that they're doing is that once the guitar is done and dusted, they put this guitar to vibrate micro vibrations for a while. And what that does, it aligns the wood grains. It takes the stress that the wood grains had as part of building the guitar. It takes that away. It better aligns the grains. And so you get a more resonant guitar out. A sort of an increased volume and sustain. And I thought that's really interesting. And I want to try one out. But yeah, this is really sciencey, very sciencey marketing material. So yeah, they got me. I gotta tell you, whatever they did in this marketing thing worked. It's a bit different, comparing to everybody else's. And again, like I said, acknowledging that a purchase is an emotional thing, so you don't want to bring too much science in there, but not many people actually do these kind of stuff, so I like this. And then aesthetics inspired by Japanese city pop art. Yep, we know that. And then talks about the carved neck joint heel. Nothing special here, to be honest with you. It's just a better neck hug. and that's good. Contoured body, we like that. We like that a lot. We don't like boxy guitars, okay? I don't. Rosewood or maple. Compound radius, which is a nice touch on Yamahas, 10 to 14 inches. Medium stainless steel frets. And Goda lock-in tuners combined with Goda 2-point tremolo bridge, smooth operation, pitch, stability. And it's made in Japan, by the way. I'm really keen. I gotta tell you guys. So this guitar right now retails at what? $2,200. It's a pricey guitar. Given the fact that it's very scientific, it's very science fiction-y, I'm just keen to try it out to see how good it actually is. Like, I'd be looking to try this out in a store. Now, would I buy it? God, no. Because I will never buy a guitar with a middle pickup ever again. It's just not my thing. But if it didn't have it, I might consider it. Zohair asks, is this a floating bridge? I am confused on this, I think. It is a floating bridge. Yeah, floating, so Zuhair asks, floating means floats up as well as down, right? If so, if this whammy bar here just goes down, does that mean non-floating, is it? No, I don't think so. I think floating just basically means anything that is not hardtail. So anytime that you have springs at the back here to balance out with the tension of the string, and your bridge moves one way or the other, that's floating. The way I understand it. Angela from Twitch says, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Are you seeing chats? I do. I happen to see things. Beautiful things. That's good. So yeah, that's my understanding, is that that's a floating bridge. And I don't think it's just, yeah. I don't think it's just like, it doesn't matter whether it's one way or the other. Yeah. One way or both ways. Yeah. You seem like a pretty good stream to me. That's why I watched your stream. Thank you very much. First stream on Twitch? No, not the first stream on Twitch. But Twitch removes older streams, right? And that's what they do. That's why you don't see like the history there. But on YouTube, you see all the streams. So, thank you very much. Appreciate you. So yeah, that's like that's really interesting. I wonder, like, is this a thing? Let me ask it this way. Why do you guys think that companies like Fender, for example, because Fender is doing more modern stuff. Gibson, they really hooked onto their old ways. But Fender does more modern stuff. So I wonder why something like this is not in their works. Is it like a Japanese thing? Could be. Like, I won't be surprised because, like, I was born in Japan, for those who don't know. My folk are pretty accurate and meticulous when it comes to their work. So, yeah. I think I like this guitar, made for happy, fun music. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yes. It says online I'm correct about floating bridge, but yeah, it's a bit confusing. Ah, okay, so floating is when it goes both ways? Interesting. That's interesting. Okay. I didn't know, for me, floating was anything that goes one way or the other, right? And fixed, like hardtail was just hardtail, fixed bridge. Makes sense. I can see the Japanese in you now, the eyes. There we go. In fact, now that you said it, I gotta do this. Sorry, guys. This is Zuhair. This is not me. Look into my eyes. Look. I didn't want to do this, but Zuhair made me. He talks about my eyes, and I'm gonna have to. And I shaved my eyebrows too recently, so I really gotta give you this joy of just staring into my eye. Just look. And I don't even have a point. I don't have anything to tell you. I just want you to look. They say they say that eyes are the window to the soul or something like that. And I don't know if that's true, but unbelievable, calls me a weirdo. Unbelievable, this man. Jesus Christ. It's my fault doing everything for you on this stream, okay? Calls me a weirdo. Anyway. Angela says your streaming skill is cool, but I suggest you put some graphic stuff on my channel. Graphic means adult content. I don't do adult content here, okay? We don't do graphic stuff. We talk about guitars. But yeah, that's the guitar. But I hear your point. Like you know when you hear like Japanese style funk, sort of like pop music, like when you say happy stuff you can play on this, like you see that and you're like, yeah, like that's the kind of music. And they kind of said it right. Aesthetics inspired by Japanese city pop art. I think that's what you're talking about, and I agree with you. That's pretty much it. It's really, yeah, like Zuhair says, like, take this guitar and play by the ocean side. There you go. I think we just found your match, Zuhair. So far in the stream, I don't remember you saying this many fun things about a guitar. Maybe you should consider getting this. All right, what color do we like more? I really dig the blue one. I gotta be honest with you guys. And funny enough, the blue one is the only one that is available. It comes in smoke burst. I know some people here like smoke and burst stuff. Desert burst. That's what they call it. Dessert. I'm hungry. And then you have the black metallic, and then you have the beach blue burst, which kind of looks nice. But I really dig this one. Like I really, really, really dig the blue one. Like this. It looks so good. Yeah. Always love sunburst, but the white pickups look a bit odd, but okay still. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I guess it's just to match the pickguard, I guess. But then again, on this one, doesn't match the pickguard, does it? No, it doesn't. You were right. Now that I'm looking at it, the white pickups really pop out of this thing, don't they? It matches the pickguard on the other two, on the other three, but with this one, it really pops out. I get your point. I hear you. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's something about the middle pickup that I really just doesn't work for me. Yeah. So there we go. Really, really, really interesting guitar with some crazy technology. I like it. I like it when they use technology to refine what everyone's currently doing. They did the same stuff, and this is not the first time. So do you guys know Yamaha RGX-A2? There's this model called Yamaha RGX-A2, and this guitar came out, I think, in 2003, 2005. I'll show you. Hold on. Yamaha RGX-A2. Okay. So this guitar came out. It's I think discontinued now. Check this out. This guitar came out in early 2000s. So this is like about 20 years ago, right? They were shredder guitars, yes, and I played with this guitar. Insanely good guitar. Insanely good guitar. And it weighed like a feather. It was less than 7 pounds. Like 2.5 kilos or something, less than that, right? Now, the thing with this guitar was that it was one of the first guitars that I knew, at least, of in the market that used weight relieving techniques to bring down the weight of the guitar without fully hollowing the damn thing, right? It's called, they called it the air technology body. So, hold on, if I can Google and find it. Yamaha RG-A2. There was a diagram that I remember they had back in good old, there we go, I think it's this one. Right, so basically what they did there was to layer the wood together in such a way, like design this wood together in such a way that it reduces the weight of the guitar. Doesn't show. Yeah. And it sounded amazing. It sounded tight. It was just so good, right? Is this 20 years old? Looks like a modern guitar like Enya with new tech. Yeah, this is 20 years old. 20-something years old, right? And the pickup switch was in form of a knob. So the knob there was the pickup switch. It was just a whole volume knob there. And then the pickup selector. But this guitar was insane. And the reason they got to do it is because they had a massive budget for R&D for this particular guitar. And this method of weight relieving of, you know, a super strat. It was insane. So it's not Yamaha's first rodeo. They really, really do a lot of R&D, even with like established product, like a Strat guitar, like a Super Strat or a Strat shaped guitar. This is what I love about them. You know. So yeah, I'm really surprised that this guitar was discontinued. Like, if I was a betting man, I would bet that this guitar would go on forever. Like, this will be one of like a flagship model. This will stay. I was clearly wrong, but this guitar was insane. Like, a bit of modification on the pickups, on the headstock design, you'd have a killer guitar. Like, professional grade guitar at a very affordable price. I played with this guitar. So yeah, it's not Yamaha's first rodeo, that's for sure. But yeah, it no longer is around. So there we go. There we go. All right, shall we jump to the next item on the docket? I think we should do it. And it's going to be a brief one, but let's talk about it. Have you guys heard of Evanescence? Wake me up inside. Have you heard of that? So Amy Lee of Evanescence teamed up with Poppy and Courtney LaPlante. And they came up with this sort of this new crazy song, which is, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, sound a little weird to me. Zuhair says, of course, but not familiar with their music though. So their whole, like, their biggest album was their debut album. Evanescence's album the first album was called Fallen. It came out in 2003. And that's the album that to this day they, you know, I think it's the most successful thing they did. The first three albums for sure were their biggest ones, okay? They came with, so basically the singer, Amy Lee, and Poppy, you guys know Poppy, and then Courtney LaPlante of Spirit Box, they kind of teamed up together, and they came up with this new song. I heard the new song, I listened to it a few times, suggest you guys check it out. I'm not going to play it on the stream because of copyright stuff, like, right now there's, I'm not sure you guys know, I'm Rick Beato, so it's like an old school producer guy called Rick Beato, who is very famous on YouTube, and he, you know, brings a lot of people on his podcast or on his channel to interview and all that. And he's in a continuous legal battle with Universal Music Group right now, and he hired a full-time lawyer because they keep copyright claiming his videos. And I don't have a full-time lawyer yet, okay? I have Antoinette, my assistant, that messes things up, but that's it. She's not a lawyer, okay? She's not even smart enough to change my scenes correctly. But I don't want to get into a legal battle or anything like that with the UMG. So I'm not going to play the song here, okay? But check that song out. It's called End of You. Evanescence's Amy Lee, Spirit Box's Courtney LaPlante, and Puppy. Beautiful Puppy. Three of rock's metal most prominent signature voices have joined forces on a brand new single, End of You, out now via Sumerian Records. Alongside the song, the trio also share an absolutely badass music video. The music video is badass, by the way. End of You is a musical tour de force from three artists at the top of their game. No, Amy Lee is not at the top of her game anymore, but it's a great song, okay? Last week they teased it. This week it is out. Yeah. Zuhair says guitar music lovers should know Rick Beato. Yeah, he did a video on the Giacamo Turra scandal, okay? Giacamo. And now you guys might say, look, hold on, let me change the view here. You guys might say, look, Mr. Sorenzo, it's not Giacamo, it's Giacamo, but that's incorrect. That's the wrong pronunciation. The correct pronunciation of that name is Giacamo Turra. Okay, Giacamo. And Rick had him on his channel, but he didn't publish the video. Okay? Because the guy didn't know how to play. And I was surprised because usually Italians hold each other's back, like, because Rick Beato is Italian. He's so from Sicily with his sideburns and everything else. And Giacamo is also from Italy. And usually, if you guys know Italians, I know a few Italians. They like their pizzas. They like their olive oil, okay? But they hold each other's back. But Rick really did him dirty, and I respect that, man. If you go, like, if you're an Italian and you do a fellow Italian dirty, you gain my respect, okay? Zuhair says, I heard both. Giacomo and Giacomo. Yeah, okay. You heard Giacomo from everybody else, but you heard Giacomo from me. And guess who's right? Guess who's right, Zuhair? There's always a right or wrong answer. Guess who's right? Guess. I think both works. What do you mean both works? Only mine works, okay? Yeah, Rick did a video about not publishing that video. Yeah, he did another video telling everybody that he's not going to publish that video. That is very true. Unbelievable. I pronounced the name. Listen, I get so many pronunciation wrongs on the stream, as you probably noticed, okay? Like Mastodon from last week, or there was like every episode of the Guitar Angle when we go live, I mispronounced something. Giacomo, I'm not mispronouncing it, so you better get it right. I always thought Giacomo too. Well, there we go. And honestly, to be honest with you, if someone steals music, I think they deserve to be called Giacomo. I think it's warranted. If you steal someone's music and you pretend like it's yours, yeah, you deserve to be called Giacomo. It's insane. That guy is so shameless. And by the way, can I say something? If you guys check this Instagram, like I've checked this Instagram, I think like 2-3 weeks ago. I was curious about like what happened with him and all that. Shameless bastard He's still doing the same. He's just still posting videos out there. All he's done is that he disabled his Instagram comments. And so nobody can comment. Everyone can just press like. But the guy is just still doing it. He's still posting his stuff. Ay, ay, ay. God, let me drink something. Hold on. Cheers to you guys. Thanks for hanging out on a Saturday night. Love you guys. If you're drinking it, popping some beer or whatever, do it. This is just a Pepsi. But pop something out. Cheers to you guys. And the thing is, can I say something? Because Zuhair says, that's so devious, stealing other people's music, and I agree with you, and you say he doesn't know right and wrong. Thing is, jokes aside, with music is a little bit, there are a lot of gray areas, right? Now, what this guy did, he was like way past the gray area point, right? He was in the black, okay? But there are a lot of gray areas. So, for example, I myself have covered people's songs. A lot, right? But I give them credit. Like, I'm not going to change the title of the song. I'm not going to, in the description, I'm going to say what the original song is. I covered Cradle of Filth, She's a Fire. I'm covering Chris Stapleton's Cold. Why you gotta be so cold? I'm writing that right now, right? And heaps of other songs, but you give credit to the guy, right? You give credit to the artist. You cover their songs, and covering is okay, right? You're allowed to play songs on your instrument or record your own song. But just the fact that like you still, and he stole it from people with like 500 Instagram followers, like people that are not even popped out. Like he has hundreds and thousands of people. Like he stole music from people with like 100 subscribers or whatever, which is, I'm like, that's dirty. Come on. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's not waste more time on that guy. But it was just hilarious. He just went on and he just disabled the Instagram comments and went on. And that's the thing, right? Change the incentive, change the behavior. If the incentive is the same, the behavior ain't gonna change, right? As long as people follow a guy like that and interact with his post, he's still gonna get his ad revenue. He's still gonna whatever. He's still gonna sell tickets. Ain't nothing is going to change. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, shall we jump to the next item on the docket? I know this one is going to be a little controversial, okay? Some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it. I got a couple of cool stuff to show you on this one, though. Check this out. As of 2 days ago, this guitar came out. Check this out. And I don't think we've talked so much on the stream about Solar guitars. Solar Guitars is the company that is owned by Ola England. He was a great guy. He has a lot of fun, okay? Now, this new model came out. It's a headless guitar, obviously. It's the H-type Guillotine headless travel guitar. I don't know about the marketing of calling something a travel guitar. I get it. Headless guitars are kind of travel guitars, but whatever. Anyways, Ola came out with this new music video clip in... Was that in Japan? I didn't even notice. But the specs of this guitar was really interesting to me. I thought to check it out. So let's quickly check out the promo just to get a bit of a sample. And then we'll talk about the specs of this guitar. Zuhair says, travel guitar, does the fretboard fold? No, it doesn't. It doesn't fold. It's just a headless guitar. So yeah. I love the fact that he does his own marketing material, by the way. And another awesome thing about it is that he can do professional marketing material now from the couch. Like if you got a good camera person, oh Lord, look at that. He's literally just on a couch. With some lights in the back. Are they Yeezys? Ola, are you wearing Yeezys, my guy? I think those are Yeezys. Zuhair says the back of the saddles aren't hitting his right thigh when he's sitting, like you mentioned. Yes, they so are. Ah, God, what a good observation. So here, it is not. Here, he's putting the bottom curve there to put it on his leg. But here now, it looks like it's the saddles that are actually sitting on his thigh. So yeah, you're right. To be fully honest with you, so with these ones, because they're basically fixed bridges, right? This is not a floating bridge or a whatever the correct terminology on this is. I gotta check this now. Now you're making me insecure about this whole thing, okay? And I'm never insecure. But the thing is that because this is not a floating bridge and the tuning is via twisting, that pushing on your thigh really is not going to throw anything out of tune or out of whack or anything. It's just now how it feels on your leg. And it's not too uncomfortable. Look, you don't even feel it. Like you start to play the guitar and you hardly feel it, to be fully honest with you. But yeah, like I like the Kiesel design where they have something to fill in there like that, so that you know it's like the best of both worlds. Yeah. This guitar reminds me of Kane Roberts' machine gun guitar. I don't know what that guitar is. Let's check it out after. Okay, remind me to check that guitar out. So yeah, this is the guitar. Now, check out the specs because the fretboard spec was really interesting to me. Check this out. Hold on. So, this is a headless guitar. 6 strings. No left-handed. 946 strings. So it's not 942, it's 946. So they're dropped. So it's designed for you to drop, you know, the 6th string, whether it's like drop D or drop C or whatever. But see, that's the thing. It says E standard. Why would you then go with 946 and not 942s? That doesn't make any sense to me. I guess it just allows you to drop it if you want to. But if you want to send out a guitar at 946, I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like if I were them, if I want to put it on E standard, I would use 942 gauges, but fine. It's a multi-scale 24.7, 25.5 inch. So that's basically means, you know, it's a fan fretted guitar, as you can see. C Solar neck shape, a maple neck, headless locking, bolt on. It's like a 5 bolt if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5 bolts. Truss rod is standard. Now check this out. Fretboard material is Purple Heart. And it's been a while since I've seen a guitar with Purple Heart fretboard material. Has anyone seen Purple Heart? It's a very dense wood. If you haven't seen it, let me actually Google it for you guys. So it's that piece of wood is literally purple. Never in my life. I'll show it to you. So it's literally purple when you cut it, right? And then as it is in contact with light, it becomes darker, it becomes darker, it becomes like a purple brown thing, and then it becomes dark black, right? Dense and heavy? Yes. It's denser than rosewood. So as a fretboard material, if you use it, it's denser and heavier than rosewood. Yes. So let me show you. Hold on. Let me Google it. Purple Heart wood. Ah, amazing photos. Check this out. This is how it looks like. Let me move myself. This is how... That's like a perfect image. This is how it looks like when you cut it. Yeah, right? Inside of it is... Yeah, it's so good. It's so beautiful. But then, like, when it's in contact with light for some time, it turns into brown and then black. And that's why this guitar, you know, it's black. The fretboard is black, right? But this is how the wood looks like. And this is how the blocks look like. Yeah. It's so good. I really like the color. It's a beautiful purple color. It really is. So yeah. And it's denser. I like denser woods, right? If you can have a thin neck, that density, if done right, you know, if everything is done right on it, that extra density basically means more resonance in the wood. Because density by definition means grains are closer together. Less pores, more grains. Have them aligned, cut them well, design the guitar well, you just get a better resonance, better sound. Yeah. There we go. That's a natural. Isn't that insane? Yeah, and look, they designed like rooms with it too. Look at that. Check this out. Yeah, so that browning that I told you guys about, like when it's in contact with light, it becomes brown and then you can make it darker. That's what I meant. That's like a good representation of it. Yeah. This one is an actual Purple Heart fretboard without like anything. You just literally put it like that. So yeah, that's what this fretboard is made out of. And I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen one with Purple Heart. And I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about this guitar. Yeah. But other than that, pretty standard and common features on the rest of it, right? So you got 24 frets. Fan frets, obviously, we know that from multi-scale feature on the guitar. Nickel fret. 45 mil body thickness. Not that thick. Basswood body. And, there we go. This was another thing about this guitar which I found a little weird. So, the pickups are Alnico 5 multi-scale pickups. Right? And I don't understand the use of Alnico 5 for a metal guitar, a gent guitar, as it was played and presented in this video. Right? Tight low end, aggressive sound. I just don't understand why you would go with Alnico and not ceramic. That was another, like, that was interesting. Like, I don't understand the choice of that for a guitar that, because the thing is, like, Alnico 5, yes, it makes your pickup more, I guess you can play more styles, more genres with your guitar. Like, if I want to play blues, yeah, I'm going to go with an Alnico pickup, right? If I want to play, I don't know, pop or funk, different genres, yes, I'll go with Alnico. Otherwise, if you want to play metal, and don't tell me this guitar is not a metal guitar. Like, everything about the look of this guitar screams that it was designed for metal players. Like, a blues player is not going to pick this up, right? You're not going to play B.B. King with this guitar, okay? So why would you put Alnico 5 and not a ceramic pickup is beyond me. It really is. I don't understand it. If you guys know, let me know. Yeah. And so now you have like, so you have like the volume and tone pots being 500K each, right? Which, this is not like a This is not a feature of matching the 500K with like an Alnico, right? It's not that. It's just because of the fact that these are humbuckers. And humbuckers, you put 500K pots for humbuckers, right? So this is not like a design to say, we're using Alnico 5, you know, we're getting a really warmer sound comparing to ceramic, so now let's just go and put 500K pots in there to sort of balance that out. That's not that. That's just because they're using humbuckers, right? They're not single coils. But yeah, did what I say make sense just now? I kind of went through it, but did it make sense what I said? So this is how it works. If that didn't make sense, this is how this works. Alnico pickups, if you compare them with ceramic pickups, are less aggressive, right? They're more rounded, more versatile. Whereas if you got ceramic pickups, they're harsh, not harsher, but like a little brighter, a little more aggressive, tighter low end, right? That's what you get out of ceramics, usually, right? So if you got two pickups, everything is exactly the same, but the core is different. That's where the difference comes in. Obviously, the type of wounding material is going to make a difference. How many turns do you do is going to make a difference. Whether it's even wound or if it's hand wound, it's going to make a difference. The insulation material is going to make a difference. So all of it is going to matter. But if you got two exact same pickups and only the core is the different bit, whether you use Alnico or ceramic, that's the difference it's going to make. So ceramics are brighter, tighter, low end, and more aggressive, right? Makes sense for a metal guitar to use that kind of a pickup. Now, when it comes to your pots, for those who don't know, pot stands for potentiometer. It's that round circular thing. I'll show you guys an image of it. Guitar volume potentiometer, right? So that's how it looks like. These are the things that sit under your tone and volume knob, and it's part of the wiring of your electric guitar. Common ones used are the 500K pot and the 250K, and this pertains to their resistance in the potentiometer, right? The higher the resistance in your potentiometer, the less bleed of frequencies there is, right? Because it keeps it and contains it. The more you have, the less, the more bleed, right? So basically what happens is, let me see if I can find a better image here. Hold on. Give me 1 segundo. Is there a better image I can show you guys? That'll be like that'll be a big help if I can do that. Hold on. Huh. Is there like a... I guess not. Okay. Okay, we'll stick to this one. That's okay. That's fine. We'll stick to this one. So, check this out. I'll just go with the one we had. Okay. So, the higher... What I was saying is that the higher the resistance in your pot, potentiometer, there's less bleed of frequencies. So your guitar is going to sound brighter, right? You get to literally... One of the things people do when they do guitar mods, because there are some people that are really into the guitar mods, right? They just modify bits and pieces about the guitar. You can get a brighter sound with the exact same pickup by just changing a $20 pot in your guitar, right? Dorotio says guitar upgrades that make your guitar sound better. Literally, right? You can just buy a better pot from StewMac for like 20 bucks and that's going to make your guitar so much better, right? The reason very commonly 500K pots are used with humbuckers is because humbuckers sound warmer than a single coil. So if you got two exact same pickups, one is a humbucker, one is a single coil, the single coil is going to have more brighter frequencies, right? More louder high frequencies. More in the composition, there are more high frequencies basically, right? I've done the diagram before on the stream. So you use a 500K pot for a humbucker to sort of like make that sound a little brighter, and you use 250K pots for single coils because your single coil pickups are already sounding nice and bright, right? That's basically how the whole thing comes together, and it all has to do with the resistance at your potentiometer level, right? So now, if I go back to this guitar, you already have Alnico humbuckers in there, right? That is, you know, it's going to sound a little nice and warmer. Obviously, there are humbuckers, so they're going to sound warmer than a single coil. And then you have the 500K volume pot there, which probably balances that warmness and that darkness and make it a little brighter. But for a metal guitar, again, Alnico does not make any sense to me. I don't understand it, but that's okay. But that's what I meant when I said earlier on that the 500K pot usage there doesn't have so much anything to do with the fact that they're using Alnico humbuckers. It's just that when you got a humbucker, you usually use a 500K pot because humbuckers sound dark, and you don't want too much darkness, too much warmth in your pickup. You want to keep the higher frequencies for clarity in the sound of your guitar. Yeah. Doroteo says, ceramic humbuckers are my favorite. Yeah, mine too. Look, mine too when I play metal. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And this is a metal guitar. Yeah, I really dig the cut at the headstock though. Look at that. It's not a flat cut. It's diagonal. See this? So anyways, that's the thing. Zuhair says, see you later, guys. Getting back to my life. Stay safe, you two. You too, my brother. Have a great Saturday night. Get some rest. I'll catch you when I catch you later. Take care of yourself. Yeah. And this guitar is not that bad price-wise, by the way. It's $600. And if I'm not mistaken, Solar is a direct customer company. I don't think they have distributors, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, UPS. In America, they're direct to customer, so that actually helps them to cut the price down a little bit. $600, that's not that bad for this. Yeah. So there we go. And yeah, does it come with a gig bag? I wonder. Truss rod tool included. It doesn't say anything about the gig bag. Delivered in a superior top quality gig bag. No, it does come with a gig bag, so that's good. And that's the gig bag. Hell yeah. Not bad at all for $600. Yeah. The only thing it just comes to my mind design wise, like architecture wise, is the headstock. So putting this guitar on a hanger is a bit of an issue because previously, like, I don't know who did it. Was it the HS guitars? It wasn't Strandberg. It wasn't Kiesel either. There was another guitar brand that designed their headstock with a bump around. So I'll show you what I mean. So this design right now is like this. Oops. Here we go. So the current design of the headstock for most headless guitars is like this. You just got this going on like that, right? There was a brand, I forgot the name, I think HS, was it the HS3? They designed their headstock like this for the headless guitar. It's like a hammer shape. So it has like this, like extra wings around, like there. And what that allows the players to do is to hang it on a hanging guitar stand. You know, the neck hanging ones, not the ones with the bottom bit, the ones that grab your guitar by the neck, by the throat. And that design allows them to do that. Whereas the design of this guitar on the headstock doesn't allow you to do that. Yeah. It's like flat pretty much. So, yeah. That's the only design issue I've got with this guitar. And that's like a really easy thing. That little piece of wood there is not going to really change the balance of your guitar. And even if it does, it can just move like the upper horn or the bottom horn by like half an inch. Less than that, and that'll balance it out literally. So yeah. So there we go. That was our next item on the docket. How do we feel, folks? How do we feel? Yeah. Gotta tell you something. What I'm noticing is more and more innovative designs in guitars. We talked about the Yamaha ones. The H2.6C that we just saw is like, you know, more affordable headless stuff, high quality headless stuff, you know, at the hands of the players. I like it. I like the trend. Things went stale for some time, but now we're back at it again. So that's good. All right. Let us talk about the next item on the docket. All right. Give me a second. I got to bring a guitar because the next guitar I wanted to talk about is a Sterling guitar. And I have the Music Man version of it at home. So I'd be able to comment on the guitar pretty well. Hold on. So check this out. We talked about the announcement of it not long ago on the stream. But Sterling by Music Man, the affordable Kaizen 6 and 7 string, is now out, available in black and purple. Right. So for those who don't know, Music Man and Tosin Abasi designed this futuristic looking guitar. It's called Kaizen. I like it because it's a Japanese name. And they came up with this. And like now, initially, I think that, how much was that guitar, by the way? Like the Sterling is like $850. I think the Music Man was like $3.5 grand. Music Man Kaizen. Yeah, I was almost there. So $3,600, $3,800 for 7-string. 6-string is $3,600, right? So they basically produced a much more affordable version of that at $850, and that's a big jump, by the way, from $3,600 to $850 is a huge jump. And keep in mind that like the shape of the guitar is a weird shape. It's not your standard shape, so that obviously comes with additional operation costs and all that jazz. But starting at $850, the Sterling by Music Man Kaizen brings Abasi's forward-thinking design to a wider range of players. And it really does, doesn't it? And so his philosophy was, I want the guitar to play fast, I want it to wear close to the body, I want it to communicate a degree of aggression and forward thinking, and I think Kaizen embodies that. He does have a point. For one, and I've got the Music Man at home, so I'm going to bring it out in a second so you guys can see. This bit where it says, I want it to wear close to the body, this is not just some marketing gimmick, he means it. So, let me bring that guitar out. Hold on. Give me a second. I got it here. Got it right here. So. Hoorah. So this is the Music Man version of that guitar. As you can see, it says, earlier on I said, it says he wants it to wear close to the body, right? I'm gonna put the fade so I can quickly switch. Check this out. So he's saying I want it to be close to the body, right? This is not just some marketing gimmick. The guy means it. Look at how thin this guitar is. And not only it is thin, look at the contours at the back. And I'm gonna move the guitar so you guys can see the cut. There's so many cuts and contours here. Even the metal plate, it's not a metal plate. Whatever this plate is made out of, it's 3D printed. It's literally 3D printed so that it just fits like that. And they put a lot of contours here and some up here and 2 down there. You guys can see the reflection. To maximize ergonomicness of the guitar. I'll be fully honest with you guys. I've held a lot of guitars in my hand. Not one guitar comes anywhere near. I Nova. My cat just dropped my mic. Bubba, get out of there. Nova, get out of there, Bubba. Ay, ay, ay. He got himself tangled. Guys, give me a second. My cat just... Nova, move. Jesus Christ. You okay? You okay, Bubba? Hold on, give me a second. Bubba, you alright? What happened? Good Lord. Okay. So, this is the most ergonomic guitar I've ever touched and played. It's so light. They contoured it in every which way. They designed it thin so that it sits on your body and it sits like close so you can play it really close to the body. Like that angle. So, yeah, it's crazy. And the fact that they're doing all of these contours at the more affordable version of the guitar is insane. The fact that they're doing it is crazy. So I like it. It's pretty good value for money. Headstock shape is the same. There are some key differences. I've actually listed out the key differences for you guys to see instead of just going through it. That'll give you a sort of a more consolidated way to look at it. Hold on. Let me bring out the table that I did earlier. Is that the one? Give me a second, guys. Where's that table? Yeah, there we go. So check this out. These are the main differences. So the Music Man, body is made out of alder. The sterling version is Nyata, which is a more affordable mahogany. The neck and the scale. So this one is a fan-fretted multi-scale guitar, but the sterling is just 25 and a half inch scale, which is fine. Like, it's not a ginormous difference, I guess. For some it is, for most people it is not, I think. Roasted maple neck. Roasted maple neck, my favorite, as everybody knows. With infinity radius, I'll tell you what that is. And this one also has roasted maple neck with 15.75 radius, which is very flat, and it's fantastic. They put the roasted maple in that as well, right? With rosewood fingerboard. Now, infinity radius, what is it? Think of it like this. If I just erase this, where's my eraser? Hold on. I don't know where the eraser is. So imagine this is the curvature of the radius of your guitar. It's like a semi-oval shape, right? And it's equal on either side. It's like a, let me make myself smaller. There we go. It's equal on either side. So it goes up, comes down, it's even, right? That's with most guitars. What infinity radius is that on the bass side, it sort of goes up the same way, right? But then as it comes down with a lesser radius. like that. It's uneven. And there, so this is the treble side, this is the bass side, right? And what that does, and this is for those who like play the guitars know exactly what I'm talking about. What that does, it gives you more visibility as you look down on your fretboard because the treble side is more up, right? Because a lot of times when you play the guitar, and I do it a lot too, when I'm playing, I happen to angle the guitar a little bit more this way to see what is going on the treble side. Like, I can see it from here, but this gives me sort of a better angle and view if I move it. A lot of people do that too. What this design does is that it gives you that visibility a little bit more, so you don't have to angle your guitar that way or anything of that nature. But it's nice and subtle, so you don't notice any weirdness in the fret. It's just comfortable on the fretboard. It really, really is a comfortable fretboard. So that basically what this infinity radius means when it comes to the fretboard radius of this guitar. Right. Then with the pickups, you have the slanted mini humbucker neck, so it's like narrow field pickups. They're heat treated and they're very high output custom pickups. They really are. It's a very tight high output pickup on this one, on the guitar I've got, the Music Man version. And you got the dual high output ceramic humbuckers on this one. So they're ceramic humbuckers. I haven't heard them. I doubt if they... I'll be very surprised if they don't sound good. Like, they're sure going to sound really good on that guitar. It's Music Man. They're high quality stuff. But yeah, I haven't heard the sound of that, just for full transparency. These ones sound extremely tight. Narrow field pickups. They sound very, very good for gent. Sound very good for any song that I want to like do gallops or... you know, have a lot of fast, like, tremolo stuff going on. This is superb for it, by the way. Neck is a 5-bolt sculpted joint. 5-bolt joint retained. So that's the sculpted joint, for those who want to see. Hold on. So, that's what they're talking about. But with that other guitar, it's borderline the same. It's a little less sculpted, but it's borderline exactly the same. 6/7 strings options, and the look is pretty much also the same. Like they're very, very similar in look. So I mean it when I say this guitar is such a good value for money. It so is. It's an Indonesian-made guitar. Same locking tuning mechanism. Yeah. It's so good. Like if I wanted to buy a guitar for less than $1,000, this would be a big contender for sure. And it's like 6 pounds. Is the neck similar to Ibanez RG Wizard neck? No, not quite. If the RG is what I think it is, hold on. Let me check that. Give me a second. But no, it is a very thin neck. If I'm not mistaken, all right, let me double check that. If I'm not mistaken, the RG ones are less flat than this one, but we can check that together. Hold on. Yamaha, my apologies, Ibanez RG Wizard neck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this one is more flat than that, but I may be wrong. Give me a second. So this is, where's like there's one with like measures. Yeah, okay, there we go. There are the measures. No, I was wrong, Doroteo. So the Ibanez RG Wizard neck is 6.67 to 0.79 on the first fret in thickness. So 0.67 to 79. Whereas the Music Man, the one I'm holding, is 0.75 to 83. So no, the Ibanez Wizard neck is actually thinner than this one. So slightly thicker, right? And then when it comes to width, it's 169 to 185 at the nut. And Music Man is 189 to 2.2 at the nut. So no, the RG Wizard neck is thinner and more narrow than this one. So this one is still pretty narrow, still pretty thin, but the RG is a little thinner. Yeah. Hope that answered the question. Yeah. See, I thought this was more flat in terms of like thing, but clearly not, I guess. Clearly not. but it's very, very thin. Like comparing to your standard necks is extremely thin in its thickness. Comparing to your standard Strat or Telly. I know you like your Chapman a lot, and the necks are, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Chapman necks are not dissimilar to Fender C's for a lot of them. And so this would be a lot thinner than those, but less thin than Ibanez RG. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's insane. It's just such a good value for money, and the design is insane. I wholeheartedly recommend this guitar. If anybody wants something ergonomic that sounds tight, that is light, and it's comfortable to play, I really, really recommend it. All right, give me a second. The Stealthy Puma is back in action again. Hold on. Hey, Bubba. Hey, darling. Give me a second, guys. I gotta bring him to the stream. Hold on. This cat, rather, has been coming around. Hold on. Come here, you little prick. Come back. Yes. There he is. Yes. This is Stealthy Puma, for those who don't know. This is, the body reminds me of a Navy stealth bomber jet. I'm suspecting you're still talking about the guitar, because his body reminds me of, I don't know. Something fat and fluffy. But he is stealthy. He's Stealthy Puma. Here we go. So Nova is the Stealthy Puma, for those who don't know. And Leo, the other cat, he is the Covert Lion. And I can bring him later onto the stream. The body reminds me of a Navy stealth bomber. Yeah. It's a pretty slick body. I'll be honest with you. It looks really good, right? And by the way, all this like curves and contours there, it's designed for a purpose. So like literally when you put this guitar on your lap in a classical position, that lower, I'll use this, that bit literally sits on your like thigh really comfortably, on the other side of your leg. And this is for where you know your arm comes in. So it's like designed for a purpose this way. It's not just like random shapes. So yeah. Very, very, very interesting guitar. Highly recommended. If you guys like, especially for those who like practice for long hours, really long hours, and you want something that is comfortable, ergonomic, that has the minimal amount of strain on your body, I can wholeheartedly recommend this guitar. Never had a better guitar in my life when it comes to ergonomics. Now, the pickup sound on the Music Man, I don't know about the Sterling, but on the Music Man, the pickup sound is a little too tight. So in terms of the usage of it, I probably use it for, again, things that require tightness and accuracy and all that. But it doesn't have as much bloom. The sound doesn't open up the same way as your normal humbucker, right? So it's not ideal for a genre like blues. That you need the bloom. You need the opening up of the note as you play it. This guitar doesn't have that, but it's not for that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, very, very interesting. I'm so glad that they brought out the sterling version, the more affordable version. And let's be honest, like $3,600 to $850 is a massive jump. Is a massive jump. And so that's great. I love to see that. This is really good. And again, granted, $850 is a lot of money. Don't get mad at me like, oh, well, $850 is a lot. I agree with you. $850 is a lot of money, but yeah, you know, you can say they've tried. At least they try to make it affordable. You know what I mean? So there we go. Yeah, I love it, man. Like, Yamaha is doing crazy good stuff, innovative. Music Man is doing it. Love it. It's just so good. And it's probably going to get better with AI and everything else. And it makes me happy. Like, could you imagine, Doroteo? Like, if I had a guitar, like, if the current technology was back in good old days when we started playing for the first time to pick up our first guitar, how much better those guitars would have been. like, you know what I mean? It's so, it makes me think. I'm like, man, the kids these days can get really good guitars at a really affordable price. Tell you guys what. So I started a second YouTube channel in which I'll be posting guitar lessons, free guitar lessons. And one of the lessons I'm doing, because the purpose of that YouTube channel is to get somebody that doesn't even have a guitar to play really well, right? So I'll start from the scratch. What's a guitar? Where do you buy it from? How do you buy your first guitar? And so on and so forth. And so for me to do that, I had to do a lot of research on more affordable guitars, right? And see what I found. So on the Guitar Center's website, when you go to the value pack sections, so here we go. Check this out. So I'm on the Guitar Center's website, right? And I go to guitar value packs. You can get an Epiphone value pack, like a Les Paul, you know, with gig bag and amp and lead and strap and picks and a tuner, right? For $260. And it's cheaper than a Yamaha acoustic pack. Like, now you have electric guitars, and Epiphone is decent. It's not the greatest of all, like, whatever, but for affordable guitar, Epiphone quality is not that bad at all. Like, Epiphone and Squire. I have one Squire at home now. I sold the other two. I have one, and Squires are great. Both the Affinity and the Classic Vibes. They're really good guitars, right? And they brought the price down to less than an acoustic guitars. Like, you can get a really good guitar very affordably. And that's insane. Like, we didn't have that. Like, when I started playing for the first time, like, my first guitar, I held my first electric guitar when I was 15, maybe, like, around that time. So that's about, like, 16, 17 years ago, right? We didn't have that back in those days. Like, you know, you buy a guitar at this price, it'll cut your hand with the fret, with the frets and everything else. Like, had serious issues. In the past 15 years, they killed it. I'm so happy. It's so good to see. I gotta tell you, I'm so fucking happy about it. Yeah. Like, you can buy it as a birthday gift, and the person can just play it for years, you know? So yeah, sorry, I got excited a little. But yeah, that's the That's the thing. Anyways, like I said, so the other channel is live. I'll be posting videos on it. I've already have 3 videos that is recorded and done. I'm going to do a few more and then schedule and post them there. And it's literally free, complete free courses. Like it's going to be 35, 40 videos and it's going to be all free. Like I'm going to start from the very beginning, teach them how to buy the guitar, play the first chords, basic music theory, then go through, you know, scales and modes and a little bit more music theory and so on and so forth. And so take somebody that doesn't even have a guitar to become a good intermediate player. That's the goal of this course. And the beauty of it is because all the videos are going to be completely on YouTube, like in their complete form. I'm not going to put any knowledge behind a paywall. It's just going to be all there. Even intermediates that want to learn a little more or brush something up, they can just join in from halfway through video like 20 of 35 and go from there. So I'm excited about it. That's what I've been working on over the past week. And it's taking a lot of time. Yeah. And that's the reason why I haven't been posting on the other channel much. It's just been recording sessions after recording session to create those. But yeah, check it out. Once it's live, it is live already, but once the videos are up there, at least a few, I'll bring it to your attention. And I'd love to hear your feedback because I know Dorothea plays guitar really well. I know Zuhair does it. I know others here play a lot of guitar. So if you got any feedback for me on that, do let me know. But I'll share it with everybody once it's ready to go. So yeah. And with that said, let's leave it here. I really wanted to bring up a few things about, you know, guitars and technology and all that jazz that, you know, with Yamaha Pacifica and the Ernu Ball and what Ola is doing with his headless guitar. I thought they're going to be really interesting to talk about. So I'm glad we did. And with that said, guys, thank you so damn much for hanging out. And man, I was in a good mood today. I was so happy to do this. So it's good to see everybody. Take a good care of yourself. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. Remember, I say it every week. Life is for living. Play your guitar. Hug your loved ones. God bless you all. Dorojo, good night, my brother. So good to see you. And I'll catch you in the next stream, next video. Weekend! Let's go! Mwah! Guys, love you all. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Live life. Be happy. Practice all the good stuff. I'll see you in the next video on the next stream. Take care of yourself. Woo!